Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Shaw, creator of the DTO system and founder of the DTO Academy. And in this video, we're going to look at pinpointing the root cause of your problems. So hopefully now you get and you understand that what's causing your problems is your thoughts and your feelings, or at least you're open to explore that possibility and that idea. So now we come to the pinpointing part of the DTO system, which is where we pinpoint the exact memories and traumas and triggers that are causing your specific problem, because we don't want to deal with all of it. People come to me and they've got lots going on often. There's loads of stuff in their life. And so what is it? What's causing it? We don't have to work through everything to heal your problem. And the good news is we often don't. We just pinpoint the specific memory and trauma and triggers that are causing that problem. So how do we know that? How do we know that code? What taught me that code? Well, there's a couple of things that I use. One is something called meta health. Now, meta health I learned many, many years ago, and it's partly what helped me solve my depression and my chronic shoulder pain. But it's helped me help a lot of people, because what it does is it gives me the specific trauma that's attached to that body part. So a doctor in Germany discovered many years ago that different organs in the body relate to different shocks. So, for instance, the neck is all about injustice or betrayal. Your lower back is all about feeling walked over, or your core values being gone against. Your digestive system is all about things you can't accept or digest. You either can't accept it and let it go, or you can't believe it or take it in. Anxiety is caused by feeling attacked or feeling powerless. So all of these things have specific responses to them. And once you know what the response is, what the conflict is that the organ is responding to, you can just go straight to that. So I just go straight to all the places where the person feels that. So if I say this, if someone's got stomach problems and in its lower stomach, then I go, okay, well, what is it you can't stomach or digest that started back when it started? And we'll find all the areas that they can't stomach and digest. And it really is almost that simple, to find the root cause of problems. It's just using some specific questions and understanding what organ relates to what. Now, within Meta Health, there is a process. It explains the process the body goes through when it's ill. And if you come and see me in my clinic, I will walk you through that process. And I'll show you the process your body's going through and the stages that you can go through and the stage where you are, so you understand where you need to be to come out the other side, because that is super important. You need to understand where you are in the process so we can get you out the other side. And that's one of the things that's missing from many, many therapies out there. Mental health is not a therapy, it is an explanation for the root cause. And then you apply the therapies to that root cause. But a lot of the therapies out there, the models, they're missing the understanding of the root cause. They're missing the understanding of what starts the process and where you are in the process. And I explain that when people come and see me. And if you want, you could actually go to the dtoacademy.com and sign up for free. Is a free sign up right now, and you can get access to learning a free introduction to the DTO system, but also an introduction training into meta health. I call it decoding illness and disease on the dtoacademy.com. But on there, there's a free training in understanding the process to why you're ill and diseased, and those two phases, and what starts it, which is a Udin moment, which is the shock and the trauma that we have. But a Udin moment is something specific, something unexpected, dramatic, isolating with no coping strategy. And that's actually what puts us into the fight and flight. So it doesn't have to be a trauma, it can just be a negative memory. But if it's unexpected, if it's dramatic, if it's isolating with no coping strategy, then we go into fight and flight. And again, that's a simple way to pinpoint things. We don't have to cover all of our things in our life, all of our negative memories. We can just go, well, what was unexpected, dramatic, isolating with no coping strategy, where you felt like this. So, where you felt like you couldn't accept something or digest it. And once I feed that in, if that's a stomach, obviously, once I feed that into people, the exact trauma, then we can find those memories. We can then use those memories to find the triggers of where it gets triggered off in your environment. Like one of my clients, one of her triggers in the environment was she couldn't watch movies that had abuse in them or violence. And she only realized it once we found the pattern, once we found what happened in her past. She realized that actually that's one of her triggers. She can't watch movies with violence in, and she didn't even clock it. She didn't even realize That was the problem. Another one of my clients many years ago, she suddenly felt alone for a long time, and one of her triggers was hearing the car door click shut, and that was causing her to feel alone. Another one of my clients, his depression was caused by sliding the bolt across his gate when he got home at night. It wasn't caused by that, but it was triggering it. And once I switched that off, a lot of it lifted, because sometimes the root cause, the memory, is not always the problem anymore. Sometimes it's just a trigger holding it in place. And once we switched off a few of the memories and then switched off that trigger, a lot of his depression lifted. There was something from his past as well about his dad abandoning him. But ultimately, once we switched that trigger off, that made a massive difference to him. So it's just a question of finding those root memories or traumas by understanding what organ relates to what, and then understanding what triggers things. How do we find the trigger? And that's just a series of targeted questions to get to the trigger. And that's, I don't expect you to be able to do that. That's what I would do. A lot of people think, well, how am I going to know what's wrong? How are you going to know what's wrong if I don't know what's wrong? And people think they need to understand what's causing the problem before they come and see me, which is bonkers, really, because you don't go to the gym and think, right, well, I'm going to go to the gym, but I'll just get a bit fitter first. Well, actually, some people do. Some people do think like that, which again is bonkers, because you're trying to get fit before you go to the gym to get fit. Um, and that doesn't work that way. You've got to go to the gym and get fit. So it's the same thing with this. A lot of people think, well, if I don't know what I'm thinking of, if I don't know what wrong, how are you going to know? Well, I do, because I've got this code, I've got this blueprint that leads me straight there. And once I know that, I can then ask you the right questions, and then your unconscious will come up with the right answers. And that's another key to it. It's about asking the unconscious the right questions. And they're really not difficult questions to answer. They're very simple. It's just you don't know what they are and you don't know what the root is yet. So I haven't told you. So that's one way in which I look at it, and that's meta health, and that's really, really good. And again, if you want to learn a little bit about that, I call it decoding illness and disease. You can go to the dtoacademy.com and look that up and sign up for free and watch that training. Um, and then there's the DTO principles, and the DTO principles for finding the root cause of things have stemmed and come from doing DTO since 2013, developing the process, developing the system, and developing new understandings that some of the other techniques don't have, uh, that help me find things in people that I wouldn't have been able to find before. And it's what helped me solve my depression, that I had since I was a teenager. And I finally got rid of it in 2013 once I learned DTO and understood a bit more about what was causing my problem, how to get to my sabotage that was causing my problem, and what the real root of the problem is. Like, why do we go in fight and flight? I mean, I talk about fight and flight and how we all go into fight and flight because we perceive danger, but why are we perceiving danger? Why are we perceiving danger over something when our life is not actually in danger? Because most of the time we're not. Most of the time it's work or family or relationships or money or driving or something. We're not actually technically in danger, but we go into fight and flight as if we are. And DTO actually answered that for me. It actually resolved that question for me, and again allows me to find things in people quicker and easier because I understand what's putting us into fight and flight in the first place. So once you understand that and you've got your blueprint, you can pinpoint all the problems, all the things that are causing it. You can map it out. There's a timeline to it. And then you can go to the next stage, which is the switching off process, which I'm going to explain in the next video. So I hope that made sense to you. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me and ask if I can help with your problem, or you just want to chat with me and see if I can help with your problem, then just drop me a call, drop me a message, or book on the DTO system. Go to the booking system and book online, and I'll be happy to chat with you about your problem and see if we can help and see what you've tried so far and what you haven't, and where you're stuck, why you're actually feeling stuck, and what's actually wrong. So just reach out to me, john@dtosystems.com, and I'll book online. I'll be happy to help you. In the next video, we're going to look at switching off. How do we switch things off? But until then, stay healthy, stay happy, keep smiling. I'll speak to you soon.